Today I'm starting off in Denpasar in an area called Sanglah. You might have heard of Sanglah before. It's one of the areas of Bali, of Denpasar, which has the big hospital. They've changed the name of it now, but everyone still refers to it as Sanglah. And one of the things in Sanglah that I've often noticed is this market here. So I'm going to start off at the market, go for a walk, see if I can have a bit of a poke around. Susan's actually with me today, but there's a jamu shop that she wants to go and visit. So she's just gone there first while I have a look around, and then I'll head over there. As with most markets, it's fairly, like they'll have the clothes there, they'll have a wet market section, they've got all the flowers and so forth. Even like some gold on the outside. Oh, here we go, here's an entranceway. Let's get inside. It's a fairly low-key one actually, fairly low-key. When I look at that. They've got a fish section in here, I can smell it. And there's a fish section that's all been, I think they're done for the day. I'm here at about 9 o'clock and they're already done for the day. They've got an upstairs section which is interesting. They're usually not active, but I actually like going up there. Oh no, this one's operational. Here we go. Dark little alleyway. We're up here. Oh, awesome. There are still some shops up here. Not heaps of them. Hello. Not heaps of shops, but there are a few. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, there's a silver cellar across there. Oh, there's some more jewellery going on and gold and so forth, stones. Yeah, silver and gold again there and stones. The word for market is pasar. Pretty dark, isn't it? No lights. I'm not sure when these things were built, but they're in pretty bad shape, some of these buildings. Pretty bad shape. What else we got? Oh, heaps of fruit and veg. Oh, chickens. You get a chicken as well. Oh, you get dried chickens over here. So they've got the live ones on top, but look at the dried ones. They use those in the ceremonies. So if you go to some of the Balinese ceremonies, they'll have those. So I don't know what the story is. The flattened, dried chickens. Those of you who are Balinese or know Balinese more than I do probably can explain a little bit what those things are. But I've seen those quite a few times. All right, I'm going to head out the back here and see where we end up. Here we go. All the random Balinese prayer boxes and so forth. Head out this way. What do we got? I actually think that's pretty much the market done and dusted. I actually think they're quite interesting to poke around, to be honest. This is also the section or the area of town which is Banjar Adat Sanglah, which is part of the Desa Adat Denpasar, which is the biggest Desa Adat in Bali. The biggest traditional village, and obviously the Banjar sits under that. That's an interesting sign there. So the sellers and the visitors have to care for the environment, and the sellers aren't allowed to prepare plastic bags or single-use plastic bags, and the visitors are encouraged to bring a normal, one of those canvas shopping bags. That's actually part of the law, I think. Here we go. No one there. In accordance with the Mayor's direction in 2018. So a lot of these rules that we think about are already in place, but they're not followed. Like if you look at that place, I mean, there's plastic bags everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, probably more than there ever has been as well. There's actually signs all around Indonesia that you find really interesting if you can read them. And when they're translated, you go, oh, that's pretty interesting. I love it. I love reading all those weird signs to find out what's going on. Like that one's a classic, where for 8 years you're not supposed to be preparing plastic bags, but they're doing it anyway. I believe that's where Susan wants to go. So I'm gonna try and get across there, but that's gonna be hard, isn't it? Look at this. I'm gonna have to get my hand up. So this is a bit of a strategy you can use. It's dangerous, you've got to keep your eyes peeled. Like this. Do one of those ones. All right, this is Area Kuliner Halal. This is a jamu place. Well, of course that's the case. So they've got a couple of pages here of jamu. This is like a modern version of jamu. For example, that's a classic one, Es Kunyit Asam. Classic jamu. So jamu is a herbal tonic, traditionally out of Java. And you'll see women walking around the streets, usually women, not always, with a sort of a wicker basket on their back, walking with all these bottles in it of ground up herbs and spices, all this sort of stuff. You know, turmeric and cloves and all this, you know, ginger, galangal. And what they'll do, they'll blend it up into a drink, and it's supposed to be like a health tonic. So I'm going to get one. I'm actually going to get the S Kunyit Asam because that's one I know. But there's heaps of other ones which would be really nice. That's going to be iced because it's S, but there's also hot ones as well. They also do like a nasi goreng as well. For 29,000 you get a nasi goreng and an S Kunyit Asam, which is the one I'm getting, which is only 15,000. Susan's over here just hanging out while I do my thing. Okay, Susan got the Rempa Detox. They don't tell you exactly what goes into these most of the time. Like, they're not going to give you an ingredient breakdown as part of the secret. But it's apparently ginger heavy. They'll give you that sort of hint. We can see it's a bit yellow. It's got like an orangey thing to it, so it's probably got turmeric in there. You don't need a lot to make it go that colour. Rempa is the word for spice. And you'll hear the word rempa a lot when you're doing cooking and stuff in Indonesian. That's a hot one, and a pedas one as well. It's because of that ginger, it's spicy hot. Ooh, so good though. It has a slight hint of sweetness to it, but you can really taste all of those spices in there. It's just such a, if you love your spices, you're going to really love these jamus. You get them on the side of the road quite often, but if you want to go to a shop, this is a good place to come to. So my one is the S Kunyit Asam. Kunyit is the word for turmeric. So it's a bit of an orange one. Look at that, beautiful. This sort of shop is not very common. You don't have jumble shops around the place. It's sort of pretty unique here in Denpasar for sure. And that's why it's a little bit cool. Ooh, got a really herby flavour to it, but also quite sweet. They've got some sort of, I don't know what it is, jelly or something down the bottom. It's really nice. That is a modern twist on an Indonesian classic thing, which hasn't really been modernised too much. I have noticed that I think some foreign-owned businesses have tried to modernise jamu here in Bali, which I didn't really like. But you got a local business here trying to do a modern cafe with jamu. I reckon that's a pretty cool idea, bringing it into the 21st century. But to be honest, so many Indonesians still go to the old lady carting around that wicker basket and pouring out jamu. Okay, let's carry on. I've spotted an area around here that seems to be filled with coffee shops. I'm not sure what sort of area it is. I've never been down there before, but because on the map there's all this cluster of coffee shops, I thought it might be a good place to check out and see what's going on. I really like some of these old signs, like the Seiko sign over there from the Toko Alba. It's sort of got an older feel about it, this part of town. That's the market that I just came from over there. So I'm pretty close to everything in this little area here. This is like a little bread shop, look at that. They do all the packaged breads from all around the place. Indonesians love their packaged breads. Oh, this looks like the market sort of comes up. Hello, how are you? Dari mana?
Dari sini, Denpasar.
Sanglah asli.
Ya, asli sini.
Ya. Lagi apa, Pak? Lagi apa?
Ojek.
Ojek. Aku jalan kaki lebih nyaman kalau jalan kaki, Pak.
Jadinya.
Ya, betul sekali, Pak. Betul sekali. Ya. Oke, aku jalan dulu ya, Pak. Ya.
Mari, silakan.
Ya, makasih, Pak. Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Yeah, the market seems to come up here a little bit. Nice people, eh? What's that? Some sort of, looks like a government. Oh, hang on. There's another market there. Pasar Tradisional Modern. A modern traditional market, Pulakerti, which I didn't know existed. That's across the road from the other one. Wonder why they've got two of them. It's weird, isn't it? There must be more to it. The Indonesian word for bread, getting back to that, is roti. And of course, it's not really a food that Indonesians traditionally would have eaten hundreds of years ago, but they do eat it these days. And the bread that they normally eat, and you've probably experienced it, has a sweetness to it, and it's almost sugary. I don't like it when it's served like with eggs or something like that, but I actually don't mind it as a snack. If you're like on a long distance bus journey and you nick into a convenience store and buy a couple of bits of bread for the trip, it's got maybe a bit of chocolate in there, as a sugary treat. I don't mind it. You'll see signs like that everywhere. Dilarang parkir di sini. So dilarang is, it's forbidden to. Actually, the word dilarang is like the passive word of larang. Hello. Lagi nongkrong ya. And you see a lot of words that start with di, and that's the passive version of a verb, meaning like it is forbidden to, or it has been forbidden, or those sorts of that sort of style of verb. We have it in English as well. When we construct sentences, we usually have a particular format that we construct sentences in, like I ate bread, or the bread was eaten by me. Oh, there's some pretty cool graffiti over there too. I can actually see a coffee shop here. Hang on, there's a coffee shop there. Is that open? We'll go to that one if that's open. I'm gonna try and get across. I just nearly got run over back there, so gotta be careful. This doesn't look open though. But, oh yeah, it is. There you go, we'll get in here.
Morning, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Oh, look at this. This looks good, doesn't it? The craziest thing in this place, like if you look over there, that green section, it is crazy. Look at that. That green section is not paint. Look at that. It's a mossy fish pond. So this is BSH Coffee, and the slogan is an architect who is in love with coffee. That's pretty cool. I've been to a few places around Bali actually where architects build coffee shops. I don't know what it is about architects and coffee, but some sort of marriage between the two. There is an Indonesian word for architect, and I can never pronounce it. Like, it's actually quite easy. It's supposed to be quite easy, but I just can't do it. It's architect. Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna say it again because I just looked it up. It's architect. Architect. I always say architect because of the architect thing in English, but it's wrong. Architect. I mean, it should be easy, but I don't know. When I try and record it always comes out wrong. It's one of those things where you've already got the English word in your head. Someone's got a good eye, haven't they? Like those cups and saucers. Beautiful. Let's check out this coffee. Ah, mantap. They've got two types of beans, an Arabica and Robusta blend, or just a full Arabica. I've got the full Arabica. Really good. 26,000 as well. Like, how good is that? The whole thing about Robusta and Arabica beans is that the Robusta beans are usually seen as being more robust. That's why they're called Robusta, and good for transport and so forth. And they're like a real cash commodity type arrangement. And they were planted out many, many years ago here in Indonesia, where you can grow coffee really well. And as this whole coffee scene became more popular and more nuanced, and people want unique beans, people are looking for Arabica. The problem is a lot of these plantations are Robusta. And so what's happened in some cases, they've replanted trees to be Arabica so they can get a particular style that might be unique to that particular area. Because with these beans, apparently, like, I'm not an expert, but in different areas you get different qualities because of the soil, the weather, the climate, and elevation. And Indonesia has some really specific places that are world class, like, of course, Aceh Gayo, but also Mandailing. A lot of those are Sumatra ones. There are some here in, there is Java as well. There's a few there that do quite well as well. Yeah, but one of the problems that a lot of people have here is the bean consistency really isn't there, because it's not really such a modern operation. So getting large quantities of beans that taste similar, quite difficult. All right, we're carrying on. Another coffee shop there, Sloof. And then there's a kabaya shop up here. If you don't know what a kabaya is, it's one of, I'm going to show you what a kabaya is. So that's a kabaya, that traditional dress, yeah? Traditional dress, kabaya. Not traditional just for Bali. Like throughout Indonesia, the kabaya is a very common form of traditional dress. Not worn as much now in places like Java, but if you go back 50 years or even 40 years, a lot of older women of all races would have been wearing a kebaya as their daily dress. Now, I think Susan told me that one of her... Hello, how are you? Oh, dari sana, dari Saga. Kopinya enak? Enak, okay, aku coba. All right, we're going to coffee shop over here. Looks like Japanese style. Look at this bike hanging up out the front. Try another coffee. All right, just ordered myself a hot cappuccino, 34,000. Yeah, Japanese inspired. Very, very sharp design on this thing. Love it. And those people are sitting over the road there in the shade. Pretty cool spot to have a coffee in the morning. So getting back to the kebaya story, yeah, Susan was saying that I think her grandmother used to wear kebaya when she remembers going to her house as a young child, and her grandmother was always in a kebaya. So I guess one of those traditional forms of dress that doesn't really sort of happen much anymore, except here in Bali during ceremonial times, I think. Having said that, I've been to weddings where people are wearing kebayas, and a lot of traditional weddings are along those lines. But the thing is, as well, that a lot of weddings these days here in Indonesia don't have those traditional aspects. They're pretty much the standard Western style white dress thing, no matter what your race is here in Indonesia. So times are changing, aren't they? Times are changing. It's becoming a little bit more bland, I think, the world, as we all converge onto doing the same things. I actually love the diversity. Okay, massive negative marks. I actually didn't tell them to give me a proper cup, because I could see they've actually got proper cups sitting on top of the coffee machine, and I did ask for the coffee to be here. They've given it to me in a paper cup, which I really don't like. I mean, there's an environmental aspect to it, but also I just don't like the feel of the paper on my lips when I'm drinking a coffee. Well, it looks good. It looks really good, actually. If this is a great coffee and it's in a paper cup, I'll be really disappointed. If it's a bad coffee, well, I just don't even think about it. Mantap. That is an amazing coffee in a paper cup, and I am so disappointed with this place. I don't know, I mean, I can see people with glasses over there, and I'm over here drinking out of a bloody paper cup. But the good thing about it is, if that's the worst thing that's happening to me today, that I got my coffee in a paper cup, I'm having a pretty good day, aren't I? All right, let's carry on. Ya, makasih ya untuk sarannya. Okay, just thanking them for their little bit of advice there about going to that coffee shop. Good place, like really, I really love it. I really love that coffee. I just feel guilty now for me contributing to the krisis sampah here in Bali, because there's no need for it, is there? I'm not doing a takeaway, so I should be having a proper cup. And sort of like a personal rule of mine, don't be getting coffees in a paper cup, especially, I mean, sometimes you can't afford it, but I haven't had a coffee in a paper cup for such a long time now that just feels a bit rotten. Especially when you see the streets filled with rubbish, like that cup is going to end up in the ocean, like it probably is. Well, it might not. It might just go into landfill, but there's such a big problem here that you just don't want to contribute to it. It's also actually a big issue, to be honest, when you're living here, when you're doing like takeaway food. Like if you're eating at home, but you're buying your food out, of course that food comes in packaging. There's heaps of packaging that goes along with it, and it just builds up your rubbish collection. And we haven't really gotten, oh hang on, baking empire. Interesting. We haven't really gotten to the point where we're using packaging that sort of breaks down, that sort of stuff. We just got to bury it and hope that it doesn't sort of resurface 200 years later. Oh, that's a good one. This gerobak pisang molen. Molen, yeah, bolen. That's really good. So that's basically bananas wrapped in a pastry and then deep fried. That's really good, really good. They come in such different, types as well. Like sometimes it's a pastry, sometimes the dough is more like a little bit more biscuity. So it can be, yeah, it can be sort of a bit crunchy. Sometimes it's completely cakey. Sometimes the bananas are big ones, sometimes they're small ones, all different types, pisang molen. And I often like to give it a go, especially if I'm traveling. Again, if I'm traveling across Java or something like that, I'll get a bag of pisang molen because I think it's a good little snack. Some nice old houses around here. There's an old hotel, Hotel Arthur. Nice. Yeah, look at it. Old place. Beautiful, beautiful. It must be in an old part of town. I'm actually walking towards the centre, more towards the centre. So I'm not sure what this would have looked like back in the day. Oh, Toko Kopi Abadi. Nice little place there, nice little coffee shop with seats on the side of the road. It's a place to go, isn't it? Nice little street, this one. The street is, and I'll get it for you, the street is Jalan Sermamade Pil. So if you want to go and have a look at some coffee shops in Denpasar, that's a good place to go. So we're now getting on to Jalan Diponegoro. So it's named after a guy called Diponegoro, and he was a Javanese prince, the son of one of the sultans of Yogyakarta. He started a war in Java with the Dutch. Or he might not have started it, but he waged a war against the Dutch in Java in the early 1800s, which went on for about 5 years. And he is revered by Indonesians for sort of upholding that idea of anti-colonialism. And he was, so he features on the 50,000 rupiah note. The name Jalan Diponegoro is used all around the place actually in Indonesia. Like you'll see that name in every city. You'll have a street which is Jalan Diponegoro. I'm going to have to try and get across here somehow. This little palang here is belok kanan jalan terus. Turning right, keep going. It means like turn right at any time with care. The word care is not in there. It's just like if you want to keep going and it's a red light, just keep going. But it doesn't always say that. Sometimes it says you have to obey the lights. Sometimes it does say that on some of those signs. So you gotta be careful when you're driving around that you know what the different signs say, don't you? Dilarang menitip sampah di sini. So you can't store your rubbish there. Yeah? Because what it does, it makes other people's lives difficult. Menyusahkan orang lain with your rubbish. So they don't want people just storing rubbish there. So what someone's done is actually lifted that sign up, that little tulisan, and put their rubbish underneath it, which is a classic thing in Indonesia. When you've got a dilarang, a forbidden sign, someone will usually do something in front of it, like dilarang parkir di sini. You might have a bike parked in front of the sign. About a week ago, I made a video saying I was a bit flat, and I'm over it now. I'm not feeling flat anymore. I'm feeling pretty good. And a lot of people in the comments said, look, go and have a break. You haven't had a break for a long time. And some of you will remember that I was saying I needed a break back in March, and I actually had planned a trip to Spain. And the trip fell through because of the Iran war, and I had to get a refund on my tickets and that sort of stuff. And so I've actually rebooked another trip to Spain. So my plan is to go to Spain in September for about 3 weeks. Now, I'm not sure how it's going to work as far as the channel goes. Normally, because I'm normally ahead of the game as far as videos goes, like I might be able to record. Hello, how are you? Takut ya, malu ya. I'm not sure how it's going to work as far as the channel goes, but I will be having a break, and there will be a break in the videos. That's the plan at this stage. So just giving you forewarning that there might be at least a couple of weeks there where I won't be doing videos. This whole thing about when you're living here in Bali and it does feel like a holiday, you do need to sort of change things up as well. I've talked about it before where you do need to go on a holiday from a holiday. I was just speaking to a couple a few days ago actually down on the beachfront path, and I'd already wrapped up filming for the day. I was just sitting by myself having a coffee, and they came up and said hello, and we sort of sat there and chatted for a couple of hours actually. And they were telling me that they took my advice from a previous video about having a holiday within Bali. So what they did, they're living in Sanur at the moment. They went on holiday to Legian, which is where they used to go on holidays in the past, and they said they had a really good time feeling like they were having a holiday in Bali. And I think you sort of do need to do that wherever you are. Even if you're living in Bali, you still need to have holidays to other places, just keep things fresh and interesting. And having a holiday even to go to Legian is fine if you're living in Sanur. I mean, especially if you don't get over there very much. Like for me, oh, that was a close one. That was very close. For me, I like to get away to different parts of Indonesia. But I also like to go overseas. Like historically, I've traveled a lot overseas. Susan and I have traveled a lot overseas. Before coming to Bali, we would be going to different places a lot. And since we've been in Bali, we've done a little bit of that, but I still enjoy it. Now, it's not necessarily, you know, something that would be good content for the channel, to be honest. Like, you're probably not really interested in a lot of that stuff. Although I could be convinced to do 1 or 2 videos, you know, like I've done that before when I've been to Japan or I've been to Nepal and so forth. And some people have enjoyed that. But, you know, at heart, this channel's about Indonesia and about my love affair with Indonesia. So I will keep that as the core thing, I think. I could be convinced to do a couple of videos if I go to Spain, for example, but it'd have to be pretty interesting for it to be worth my time, I think. On my way north, I'm now passing Jalan Sutoyo. I've done a video on this before. It's a flower street here in Denpasar. So I started quite far south and I'm walking north because Susan says she wants to meet me at a place that she wants to get a bite to eat at. So I'm walking there and she's riding the motorbike. That's why I'm sort of coming up this way again. But if you didn't see that video, basically along this road, there are heaps of flower shops, basically, and they're doing flowers at very good prices, like that sort of place is a pretty classic one. Another one next door, like that. And you just go and ask for them to make an arrangement for you, and they'll do it for, like, I don't know, 50,000 or whatever. You'll see that in a lot of places. DLHK. And the way I'm pronouncing those letters, like, I often get it wrong, so I'm trying to, that's why I shout it out. And what they are is a Dinas Lingkungan Hidup dan Kebersihan. And they basically look after the environment and cleanliness of the place. So they will go, like those guys back there are cutting down a tree which is obviously leaning over the road, or a branch has dropped onto the road or something like that. So they're looking after that. But they will also be the people who are cleaning stuff down at the beach. So they're assigned to Denpasar city, so they wouldn't do anything in Kuta, but they'll do stuff in Sanur because Sanur is part of Denpasar. Let's try and cross the road over here without getting run over. All right, we're across. Let's get into this park and cross through there. So they do a lot of the street sweeping. They'll clean up rubbish on the beach. They've got a massive responsibility actually in the city because there are obviously large rubbish concerns and cleanliness issues. And they have a staff of many hundreds of people whose job it is to keep the place looking clean. They've also got like a feedback line as well. Like if you think there's an area of Denpasar city that needs a little bit more attention, or you're not really happy with what's going on in a particular area as far as rubbish is concerned, you can actually email them and contact them and give them feedback, you know. That's open to everyone. I actually don't really know how responsive they are. I've never contacted them myself, but I mean, it's there. You just Google it. Just Google them and then you can probably get in touch with them. Big job though, isn't it? Imagine if you were in charge of that particular department for the whole of Denpasar, trying to keep on top of all of those issues. That'd be really tough. Better be careful here. There's a kite that's sort of low flying at the moment. I'm going to try and get across here. I can hear some live music in the distance, and I know that often they will be doing live music down in this park. So we're going to have a look at that. People dancing and singing and so forth. There's a guy winding in crazily here. I'm going to get done if I go any further. All right, that's down on the ground now. Let's keep going. Kite season, love it here in Bali. Awesome. A lot of people coming down here to listen to live music. They're definitely here on Saturday mornings for sure. They often would have been over in this area, but over at this point in time they're over here. They're doing some sort of works over here where they can't get up and play here. They do have people playing chess here, so if you love to play chess. So this is Lapangan Puputan Badung, yeah? So if you're interested in anything like that, come over here. The people here are sort of tend to be a little bit older. And the music they're playing is a little bit older as well. Oh, no thanks. Thank you. So really awesome to come down here. Saturday morning's a great time, but any time of the week I find that the crowd there, people hanging out there, are just so pleasant and a little bit older style and very very good people. Like, always have a good time when I'm down here. I'm going to dash across. I'm actually really close now to a place called Janard Coffee, which, if you watch my videos, you would have seen it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times now, which is up this road, which is fairly central now, really central. So this is near the 0 kilometre part of town, and Janard Coffee is just up this street. So, you know, if you go walking around Denpasar, and I hope you do at some point, if you love to walk, it's actually a really nice place to walk. You can start around this area and choose your own route through the city, whether you do it sort of freestyle or whether you plan out some key points along the way. This is a really good place to start, and start with a coffee shop and maybe a donut, or go down there and have a listen to the music and then go on from there. I've talked about in the past how a good way to go through Denpasar is just have a couple of spots in mind and then take a sort of a circuitous route through the city to get to those 2 points, and that's a really good way to explore the city. You can go totally freestyle, which I do sometimes, but today what we've done, I've started off that market and I've gone through the back street, and I'm ending up at a place that Susan wants to eat at. And I don't even know what it's called, but I know it's here near Janard Coffee. So I'm going to get on the blower to her and say, where are you? Because I'm at Janard Coffee, because she's around here somewhere. Funny thing is, I didn't even have to get on the blower because I can see her over there in her pink jacket. Even though it's boiling hot, she's in a jacket, Indo style. So that's Janard Coffee over there, which I really love. And Susan's over here next door in Ayam Ganapin. It's a modern looking place. So Ganapi is actually a bumbu, like a Balinese style of bumbu, which is like a spice mix. Yeah, bumbu with spice mix. So Ganap, you'll see that in on menus sometimes, like it'll say bumbu Ganap, and this is Ganapin. That's what we're talking about. Looks good, doesn't it? Looks like KFC Indo style. Look at this, so modern this place, isn't it? Let's see if they got a place upstairs for us. Slightly warm, but actually they've got AC in here and fans, so it's quite nice. And you get that little view over the top. Take a look at this one. This is a good breakfast, isn't it? So you've got bakwang jagung, look at that. And then we have some fried skin. We have a chicken breast, a bit of rice, which I won't eat. And then we have the urap down there, which is the Balinese veggies. And we have a bit of sambal here, which I won't eat, but I'll eat that sambal on top because that looks like one of those fried onion type ones, which I know I love. I also got an este sere jahe, I think it was. So sere jahe is lemongrass ginger tea, iced ginger. Sere, yeah. Susan's looking at me as I said that. She's trying to convert it in her mind to English. I already got it. Oh, sweet, but really beautiful flavours on that lemongrass and ginger. Amazing. And the packet here, the packet, it was 49,000 actually for the chicken and all that sort of stuff. Oh, it's not cheap, but it's fair value, I reckon. Let's check it out. All right, I'm going to eat some of it with my fingers and some of it with a spoon. So I'm just going to try and pick that up with my fingers. It's a bakwang jagung. Actually a bit flabby. Not crispy, a bit disappointed with that. Try a bit of that chicken skin. Chicken skin is good. Try a bit of that veg. Looks spicy. Classic Balinese flavour. So good. Let's get stuck into this chicken now. How am I going to get... Oh, it's gone on the table. But that was like the 3-second rule. Is that marinated first? There seems to have been some sort of spice rubbed on it or gotten into it, like the bumbu ganap, I think must have got into it, and then they've battered it. And they've got a really nice dark colour on that fried skin. Beautiful. Oh. That is good. A lot of you all know that I absolutely love Denpasar. I just love cruising around and having a look at what's going on. It's just got a vibe for me that really suits my style. I know it's not for everyone, but I think a lot more people will like it if they come and explore it. And I hope you do get the opportunity to do that sometime soon. Thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sonora and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, man. Sampai jumpa.